MD Prepper here, my second week of the $28 a week food challenge, or experiment I should say. This is my second week's set of purchases for $28. Now let me remind you that we already have some food left over from last week, about 2.8 days, if I'm doing exactly 2,000 calories a day. So we've got a little bit of rice, some beans, good bit of potatoes out of that 10-pound bag, maybe 4 pounds, 4.5 left over to add to all this. So this isn't all we have. So go back and watch the other videos for the rest of the gear I've got. So let's go ahead and talk about what I've got here. Another bag of 5 pounds of long grain white rice. Why? I eat a lot of rice, good filler. Will I buy this every week? Probably not, but for $2.50 this is 8,000 calories. That's a lot. I can do a lot with that. So decided to get another bag this week just to have extra around if I needed it for other items and menu items that I need, which we'll see over time. Next, I got some black beans this time instead of the pinto beans. Just a 1 pound bag for $1.72 at 1,300 calories per bag. Love my black beans, especially for tortillas and wraps and burritos and all that. Like them better than pintos overall, and want some diversity. So got some black beans there. Also got another small package of pinto beans, just another pound here for $1.48 with 780 calories in it. Now, this was actually cheaper than per pound or per ounce than the other beans, the Great Value I bought last week, but I did not see these. I don't think these were on the shelf last week, so this is actually a cheaper alternative overall, even in the 1 pound container. So, next I went for something a little bit different, just to beef up soups and stews and other options I'm going to have come along here. Pearl barley, 1 pound of that. You can do a lot with pearl barley, not something people think of a lot, barley, but it's another cereal grain out there to use. That was a very inexpensive at 98 cents a bag for 1,400 calories, so that's a nice food booster there. Now the next item, which is the biggest purchase item we've had so far, is not sitting here on the table just because I didn't want it on the table to contaminate everything else. So I've got a little sampling. Chicken thigh quarters. A 10-pound bag in the refrigerated section at Walmart is $7.90. Overall, that's 8,700 calories. This plus the rice is well over a week's worth of calories overall. This is our first meat source overall. I think we got protein beat. I'll talk more about that in the future, but these quarters are highly versatile. You can take the skin off, you can take extra fat off, etc. for making stews and stock, etc. for chicken stock. You can also take the leftover meat and bones to make a stock afterwards for soups and stews and cooking your rice in, etc. So 10-pound bag of this. What I usually do is I get this for $7.90 a bag, and I put them all in Ziplocs individually, so I can freeze some of them, keep some in the fridge, etc., rotate them as I need to. A lot of meat on that. I'm not going to take it out and show you just because I don't want to get my hands all dirty and covered in salmonella and contaminate everything else. But expensive purchase, but well worth it. Usually I get 1 bag per pound, about 10 pounds total equals 10 bags. This time I got 11 bags, so, and all roughly equal sizes. So I don't know if I got a little extra over. I didn't actually weigh the bag, but either way, 11 bags worth of chicken quarters, the thigh quarters and all. Very versatile stuff here. Add this to soups and stews, pan fry it, bake it, just anything like that. Chicken's a good choice overall, especially for all the calories you get, 8,700. Next, I've got some masa flour. Now you may say, where's the whole wheat flour or the all-purpose flour, etc.? I think this is going to be more versatile on the front end, especially because corn plus beans is also a complete protein. I can make tortillas out of this. With tortillas, I can make tortilla chips by frying them up. Just all sorts of interesting options with this I'll talk about in the future. Nutrition-wise, it's about the same overall as plain white flour, but I think this is more versatile overall at this stage. 4.4 pound bag ran me $2.88. It's got 7,260 calories overall. To make corn tortillas, all you technically need is water, salt, and the mix. So there's that. I also went ahead and got some baking powder overall, just to have it. A lot of recipes with the masa flour call for that, and this is going to be useful in the future. This ran, like I said, $1.24. Very inexpensive, and for the amount in it, this is going to last the entire challenge and much, much longer. So, also a nice addition to have around. A lot of you guys commented on lack of caffeine in beverages. For cheap, we went for tea. Black tea, great value. 100 bags for $2 exactly. You say, well, I like coffee better. Okay, you might, that's fine. You know, switch that out, do your cost comparisons, save up, etc. I find that I drink the tea black. I don't, or not black, but the black tea warm. I don't need sugar. I don't have to sweeten it up like sweet tea. Could you make this an unsweetened tea? Of course you could. But 100 bags for $2, that's 3 bags or more a day, and you can reuse the bags if you really want to be stingy to get more tea out of it. But I like tea. I've switched over to more tea drinking and more unsweetened hot tea. So this will do the job for me easily on 3 a day, if not more, for $2. Seasonings. Realized that salt, pepper, and garlic powder was not enough. Needed to expand this tremendously. I bought 3 more of those 88-cent bottles at Walmart. What we've got here, the 3 I chose: seasoned salt. I figure that's highly versatile for the potatoes, just about anything else. Seasoned salt is just excellent. Overall, I decided for onion powder as opposed to dried onions. They had dried onions as well, but I figured the onion powder could always substitute to make up for things. Very versatile there. And finally, I was having some trouble with the old-fashioned oats, so I need something to spice that up. So I got some ground cinnamon as well. Could be used for other things as well. So those 3 for seasonings. Finally on the list, everybody was wondering where the veggies were. Here you go. Mixed bag of veggies, $2.48. Very low on calories, total of 550 calories per bag, but that's exactly what you'd expect from veggies. This is a flash frozen or fresh frozen bag of carrots, green beans, cut corn, and baby lima beans. So fair diversity here, good for stir fry, good for soups and dishes, etc., and just as a side to season up. So the first veggies on there. There were other options out there at Walmart, but I thought this would be the most versatile to start with, just because I can do a little bit of everything with that. So all that said, total calories with just the food on the table plus the chicken, 10 pounds, is 27,990 calories, or 13.995 days, or 14 days, let's call it, for the low price of $20.26 just for the food items. That doesn't include the seasonings or the tea. That's just calories, guys. The overall cost came out with tax at $27.37. So right on the money again for all this plus the chicken, which you don't see here. But back on the food cost, at $20.26 per day with 14 days or so, that's $1.44 or $1.45 depending on how you round. Now on week 1, I added in the vegetable oil because I knew I was going to be cooking with that and using that. Obviously I'll be doing that, making tortillas. If I'm going to do anything with the veggies or soups or anything like that, I'm going to be using the oil. So I've gone ahead and thrown in an additional 240 calories per day from the oil for this week. That throws us up to 29,670 calories. And at 2,000 calories per day, that's 14 days and a little bit over. 14.835 days. Very inexpensive overall, especially considering the cost. If we add this, overall, like I said, $1.44 per day. If we add this to last week's, right now, with what we have on the table, we've got 14.835 days. Last week, we had 9.82 days. So add that together, that's 24.655 days total of calories. I've already got over 3 weeks good to go calories here on the second week. So I've got about 5.34 days left on calories overall. So this should get a heck of a lot easier on week 3 and week 4. Overall, if we combine both weeks worth of just food, not salt, not pepper, not the accessories as I call them, but anything with actual calories in them, we are looking at $1.49 per day. Stellar. So call it $1.50. So take that Snap Food Challenge, $4 a day. Yeah, right. I'm kicking its tail quite considerably. Overall, just so you guys know, the total food cost of just the calorie items that we spent on week 1 and week 2 so far is $36.76, and that is for 24.655 days worth of food. That's tremendous. $1.50 a day. I'll be doing a breakdown of each of the new components on this: the masa flour, barley and the beans, etc., veggies, whatnot. Talk about things as we go. So far, things are still going incredibly well, and I can't wait until next week because week 3 and week 4 are going to be fun. Hope you enjoyed this. Be Prepper out.